Welcome back to Sign Day here on Facebook Live with the Sycamores Indiana State football program. We're now joined by offensive coordinator Jeff Hecklinski. And Coach Hecklinski, it's nice to catch up with you. It's been a while since I've been able to see you.
It has been a while. I know we've talked over DMs and Twitter and all that stuff, but I'm used to seeing you about twice, 3 times a week, so it's good to be back.
It's good to have you back. It's good to be back, and especially here on Sign Day. Just for you, when you get to a day like today, what are just your emotions like and what it means to welcome in so many new members?
Well, I mean, obviously it's exciting. You know, you got, new ideas, new people to work with. You know, we're obviously, bridging the gap now between our recruits and everything that we've done over the last year in recruiting, and it's fun to be a part of. It's a lot of work has come in to get to this day. It's nice not to have any surprises throughout this day. It's been very calm, which is exactly the way you want it. And, it's exciting to look to the future. And that's really what this day is about, is this is the future of Indiana State football, and we're excited about it. You know, we're very fortunate. There's been a lot of trust on both sides. We've gotten to know these families really well, and it's exciting now to have this done with and now be able to work towards building the future, now starting with a new phase, which is coming into spring football.
Let's get into your quarterback position first. We'll start with Andrew McCormick. What stands out about Andrew and kind of why you guys spotlighted him and what kind of talent he brings in?
I'll tell you, Andrew was somebody that, Coach Wilson had brought back real early in the recruiting process. And, his athletic ability, his ability to throw the football, that combined with his, he plays linebacker on defense. And so those things combined all were really intriguing. We kept going through the recruiting process with him, and when I went down and watched him work out, he ran a workout that was very impressive for a quarterback, because he was the one who was teaching the wideouts how to run routes. He was teaching, the running backs how to do things. He was out there actually running some routes. It was just really impressive, and you saw the leadership. You saw a lot of different things that you look for in being a quarterback, and then obviously the athletic ability. And when you watch him play and you watch him throw, he really fits a lot of what we look for in terms of being able to push the ball down the field.
I know one guy you've been really excited about too, Jalil Kilpatrick, that you'll bring in, a junior college transfer. The impact he could have right away.
You're looking, our goals have always been to set out to get more athletic back there. If you look at Will Heckman and then you look at Jalil and then you look at Andrew, you're looking at a succession of quarterbacks now that, can keep the pressure on the defense and make the defense have to account for him as a threat in the run game. And so, as we progress through this, our offense isn't going to change. We're still going to push the ball down the field. We're still going to be a vertical throwing team. We're going to take shots. We're going to throw the ball and attack people vertically. But now all of a sudden, you can't just drop everybody back, and those safeties now become conflicted as do they play more in the pass game, or do they have to cover? Because those are the guys that have to be inserted into the quarterback run game. And so we were able to do that. We got one coming in at mid-year. We got Andrew coming in. Will's back, so we're excited about the future at that position. And the athletic ability we've been able to add over the last really less than 12 months. We haven't even been here a year yet. That's how crazy it is. We were sitting here a year ago at this time, and it hasn't even been a year, and we're back right here. So you're talking 9-10 months of work really between when we got here, finishing up the class from last year, and then this year. You look at probably 50, 60 kids that we've added in that time, 50, 60 young men and families to the program. So, the influx of youth into the program is something that's really exciting.
You mentioned the athletic ability being improved at the quarterback spot. Offensively as a whole, do you feel you've been able to accomplish that at pretty much the areas that you wanted to?
Definitely. When we got here a year ago, I think there were 2 wide receivers on scholarship when we got here a year ago. I think Curtis Lee got resurrected about 3 different times, and God bless him. He was a savior for us. Ended up being a captain and getting put on scholarship. But you just look at what we've been able to do from the wide receiver standpoint to the running back standpoint. Tight ends are always going to be a focus within our offense, and then obviously with the length in the offensive line. We had to get longer and bigger in the offensive line, and 2 of those young men Tate and Isaiah are going to be with us, you know, right now, which is great because, you know, those are both young men that have played major Division I and major college football. Those are both young men that can come in and help us bridge the gap between our young offensive linemen and getting them to understand what major college football really is and how you have to work at that level to be a successful offensive lineman. So we're really excited about what we've done. You know, like I said, over a 10 to 11 month period, when you take a look at it, what Coach Mallory's plan has been, Kevin Abrams, Craig Smith, Adam Dennison, you know, all the people who are involved in putting the pieces of the puzzle together and what we've been able to accomplish in 11 months, and then moving forward because we're already started in on the 19 class.
Well, it's not too bad when you sign a guy by the name of Big Tuna, right?
Hey, you gotta love the big tuna. You gotta love the big tuna. We definitely got bigger. There's no question about that between him and Tate, and then obviously Kevon and Colton. You know, you're looking at long tackle bodies. You're looking at kids that can play on the edge, and it's always, you know, you always work inside out, and you always work from the line of scrimmage back. And so when I talk about that, you know, you're always working corners to defensive ends. You're always working, you know, tight ends to tackles, because as they get bigger, they always move closer to the ball. And so the exciting part of it now, offensively, we were able to do that. You know, when we got here, there weren't a whole lot of tackle bodies, and now we were able to add and continue to add from, you know, like I said, I mean, when you think about it, over an 11-month period, you know, the length and the athletic ability we were able to add, now we got to go develop them. And now they have to do their part in terms of following the program, following the nutrition program with the intensity of the weight room. We got to do our part of putting them in a position to be successful, teaching them football, and obviously driving and pushing and creating that accountability that it takes to win.
Coach Hack, appreciate the time. Sooner or later, it'll be spring ball, and we'll have a new turf field.
Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait to see you out at spring ball. All those interviews we do afterwards. I can't wait for them.
There'll be that time soon.
Yes,
Coach Hack, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Once again, that was Jeff Hecklinski. We're going to take a break. When we come back, defensive coordinator Brad Wilson stops by.